welcome to the Manhood Neat podcast. Oh, boys, we are back in the bunker again. We have almost full table, not quite 5 of us, because for some reason we can't seem to fill the table anymore, but we've got 4 of us here, and I'm pretty excited about it. Dylan, welcome back to the bunker, brother. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. Surprised.
Ben Lewis.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. You guys are like, I can count on you. Rob and Benson, I love you both, but I miss you guys.
You guys are getting cut off.
Miss you guys.
Just kidding.
Michigan?
Missed you guys.
Oh, miss you guys. They said Michigan. I'm like, that means nothing.
What am I, slurring my words or something?
Yeah, a little bit.
You talking in cursive or what?
Talking in cursive. But we also brought back the young gun one more time. Nate, welcome back.
Sorry, y'all.
Nate.
Ow. So, yeah, we're back.
Not brother Nate.
Not my brother Nate, but Ben's son Nate. So
Nader
we'll
dog.
call you, Ben Lewis's son, not Ben's son. Ben Lewis's son, Nate. Yeah, it's very confusing. It's a very confusing time we live in. But anyways, all right, Dylan. Dude, did you realize that we are like how many days away now from opening game of Huskers?
Are you talking about the spring game where we actually win one?
No, we already had that.
Oh, okay.
Fall game.
Ouch.
Dude, we've paid, I think it's up to like almost $1 million in NIL we've given out to bring in players. We should win a game.
Still way behind Alabama.
No, actually,
Texas A&M.
Yeah, Texas A&M. Alabama's complaining because actually Alabama doesn't have a lot of money to do this. So like,
Sure they do.
Saban's like,
Roll Tide.
roll tide. Well, they don't because have you been to Alabama?
No,
Like, it's
I drove
I
through.
refuse not to.
Northern Alabama's pretty nice, but Alabama's it's a rough state. They need some money. They need some money. I do too.
Isn't that just the South? The South needs some money.
That's just probably all of us. We're living in Biden's America. We all need some money, right?
Oh, I'm doing better than ever, guys. Love that guy.
Are you? Really?
I just found a way to make my old truck a viable.
You had to burn your house down to help pay for it. How is that doing better?
Not on purpose, man. Don't say that on the air.
But all right, so Ben Lewis,
Everybody was tired of hearing about that story, so just shut up about it.
shut up about it.
We did get a lot of emails saying, Lewis, it's
Tell
enough.
Ben
Yeah.
to shut the hell
Yeah.
up about that.
Yeah.
Your big old house, we get it. Your mansion.
Stop.
I am mad because I remember him on air saying that we were going to have an upstairs housewarming. Did
yeah.
you get invited? I never got invited.
I got invited to his house. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm still gonna have that. I promise.
All right, Dylan, what's going on, man? What's going on new?
Well, thanks to Biden's America, I have been searching alternative ways that the oil companies cannot take more money from me. And a guy in Iowa, shout out to Thunderhead 289, actually invented a manifold adapter
Ford guy?
to put a lawnmower carburetor on a 302 V8. And he found out because of the turbulence it's created on the inside, it's atomizing the air vapor or the fuel vapor so much to the point where he's getting 40 plus miles to the gallon in a classic engine.
No.
And I want
way.
to put that on my truck now.
Well, so basically what you're saying is
He's going to die soon.
a classic Ford engine makes no more power than a lawnmower. Makes sense. I get that.
Here comes the EPA.
All I'm saying is when I can get 800 miles to a tank,
800 to the miles.
800 miles to the tank, and it only costs me $80,
That ain't bad.
you won't be laughing with your guys' Chevys.
I don't have a Chevy.
Well, yeah, I know you have Fords,
Yeah, they
but
suck.
you want a Chevy.
I just want something other than a Ford.
You need a Jeep for your work truck.
Dude, I want a Jeep pickup.
Yeah.
Gladiator. I totally
A
drive.
Gladiator?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the older Jeep pickups are cool.
The Comanche?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the old
Those are
Good
J-
luck finding one, though.
J10
I just
or
saw
whatever.
a fully restored one driving on the highway the other day. Green. This like a hunter's green with like a pearlescent sparkle in it. Oh,
Was
that
there
thing
a-
had to be worth every bit of 60 grand.
Was there an American flag on the back of it? Just
No,
flying?
no. He was just driving, just cruising.
Tell you what,
Did he at least have a mullet?
No,
This guy? No?
he was like
Oh.
some older guy.
what I really
Looked a
miss
lot like you.
is like
Old.
I've only had 2 Jeeps in my life. I had a Wrangler Rubicon 06, right?
Sweet.
So still had
That was the pinnacle of TJs.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. So the 4.0 in it, and
Oh,
but
yeah.
I don't remember what year it was now, but I had an old AMC Jeep Grand Wagoneer.
Oh.
Oh, that's what I want
Wood
so
pan-
bad.
That thing was amazing. I don't like, except for the fact they got 2 miles to the gallon, and the 4-wheel drive was hit and miss. But other than that, it was awesome.
Did it not have lockout hubs?
That would have been
on
a
the
great
outside?
family vehicle.
Yeah, but the air system to actually lock it in was going.
Okay.
So
Because that's the one car that my wife and I, she's like, if you're going to restore another vehicle, I want it to be a Grand Wagoneer. So that way I can have it when the kids are old enough to not.
So there's a
That's
guy
awesome.
I found online, and I actually thought about selling my Grand Wagoneer to him, but he does full up restorations, and you get 3 different engine options to drop in there instead of that old AMC 360. But one of them is like you could drop in a crap.
Is one a 2.8 Cummins turbo diesel or something like that?
Yeah,
That's a great motor.
you could drop in the Cummins. You could drop in the 3/6 in the
the new one.
the newer ones
Yeah.
now, or you could drop in the old 4.0 straight inline 6.
Oh, there you go.
Great motor. But this guy's detail was so perfect. Like
Is it Icon?
I don't remember who it was. I have to look it up. But I remember looking, like, he was showing pictures of like the where the trim along the carpet on the sides is down on the floorboards, and all of the screws he would tighten to the same like direction.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm like, that's sick.
that's
should watch
important.
Icon.
That's important.
That is important. That's all. Dude, attention to
Icon,
detail.
like, all the like plastic bezels that they used to make, and he'll steel mill them in a CNC and make all new steel and aluminum bezels, and he'll modernize the interior in a way that looks classic. So like he might completely tear the radio out, but there will be a built-in Bluetooth system for you just to hook your phone up to, and then have speakers hidden in places you'll have no idea.
Sweet.
He makes such beautiful vehicles.
That's pretty sweet. Nate, what's been going on, man, since the last time we talked?
Well, I broke a spoke on the levee behind Pack and Save the other day. There were some pretty tall weeds, and they had hands and grabbed a spoke in my back wheel.
Oh no.
So I gotta get my bike into Monkey Wrench Cycles and let them fix that. And
When you say bike, you mean with like pedals?
bicycle,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Tell them about
Oh,
your.
that's right. You're like
biking,
a
dude.
professional bike racer, aren't you?
I'm trying. Well, I'd love to be professional, but yeah, I ride quite a bit. Average like 100 miles a week. And
Like what kind of bike?
It's not bad.
it's a full carbon Lauf made in Iceland.
Okay, I don't. Is
Tell
it
'em
a
how you
mountain
got- tell 'em
bike,
how you
like a
got
road
that,
bike?
dude.
Like,
It's a road bike, drop bars, but
Okay.
it's got beefy tires, so I can take that bike anywhere. I can ride off road or just ride road miles, but it's made for gravel.
okay.
And I won it, didn't have to pay a dime, and I won it through a race with my registration. I got an entry to the raffle, and yeah, pretty amazing.
Is that like a $5,000 bike?
$3,500 price tag.
Wow.
Amazing.
My bike was
You
$20.
you
I think
lucked
my
out
minivan
too.
cost that much.
Because when you got that bike, like there were no parts coming out of anywhere, and they like white gloved that for you and shipped it to you pretty much.
Yeah.
You lucked out.
Yeah, I would have been riding the bikes I had for a while if not for that. But pretty cool. Broken spoke, no big deal. Otherwise, just been drawing letters over and over and over for this mural coming up. But yeah, that's all I got.
Cool.
Sweet.
All right, Ben.
I got nothing, man. I don't even know what to tell you.
You did nothing since the last time I saw you?
Literally, I'm just like happy at work, and I'm
didn't
happy.
have no
I'm
cheese
happy at
dip or
home.
nothing?
I'm lucky to have Lee. Nate will tell you that. You know, I'm excited. You know, Nate's home with us for a little while while he works in this mural. So it's kind of cool to have the whole gang. I think it's the last time maybe that all 6 of us will be in the same home. You know,
Outside
so-
of Christmas.
Yeah, that's true. So but as soon as everybody leaves, I'm gonna probably move and not tell them where I went. So
Oh, it makes sense.
You gonna
You
move
know.
up to old Stappy Town?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
You can probably
My
find
wife
some
wants to go
ground for pretty
south.
cheap.
I want to go north. It's kind of,
She wants to go south to like Beatrice.
No, she wants to go like south, like Texas, and
Oh, you can't move that
And
far.
I want to go north, like
I've-
Minnesota.
No, I forbid both of those.
Well, we're gonna come back and like have conjugal visits or something, But
What?
I forbid that
Sorry,
too.
man.
I forbid that as well.
is this the second episode? Sorry, sorry, man. Sorry, Nate.
Okay, so Ben's got nothing going on in life.
Nothing.
Nate is scarred.
Yeah.
I'll take the hint and move out as soon as possible.
There are 4 of you, Nate. All right, so
That's true. So you got a few years left before you can leave. Yeah.
barely.
Yeah. I want to move to Arkansas, actually. Like,
We talked about it.
yeah.
Like you're gonna have a.
I just need investors. So there used to
I
be
just need investors.
there used to be this amusement park just north of Jasper.
Oh, we
Arkansas.
did talk about that.
Yeah, and I want to buy it because like it's just kind of developed there, and I want to turn it into like a motorcycle resort. And so,
So
Yeah,
real murder
totally.
or just motorcycles?
what's a resort for murder?
Okay.
You know,
So it's like
It's like international waters in the United States.
anarchy.
No, it's like the
Slab City.
no, the gold coin from Wick. What's the name of the hotel?
Oh, you're talking
the
about
Continental
Continental. Yeah.
from John Wick.
Yeah.
We often pulled John Wick references into this.
Yeah. Because it's
I watched a little
I
bit.
mean,
of
it's what
John
Rob
Wick.
does for a living. So
Yeah, I miss Rob.
that's what he's on vacation. I
Yeah, vacation.
he's on-
Yeah, he's. Where'd he go this time? The Vatican. again?
Yeah.
They're getting ready to blow
That
a
was
different
John.
color.
That was John Wick too.
They're getting ready to blow a different color smoke. Is that what you're saying?
He told me
Oh no.
Madrid or something.
Madrid. I don't know where he went, but it's not here. So I'm trying to think if I had anything exciting happen. The new season of Destiny started, so I'm kind of pumped on that for my little. But other than that, yeah, kind of cool. So I finally found a guy. My dad's old Goldwing. It's been sitting in my garage.
Someone's buying it.
No, I'm not selling it. Found a place that'll actually work on it. So every place I called in Lincoln, because there are a bunch of schnobs there, they're like, oh, we don't work on things that old. And then I actually called the place. I'm not gonna name them because I don't hate them that much. But what they do is work on vintage bikes, right? They work on vintage bikes. That's all they work on. I called them and they're like, oh yeah, we don't work on gold wings. I'm like, why not? And they're like, oh, it's a lot of work. Yeah, you charge by the hour. Who cares? Right? So then there's a place in Clark's called Central Nebraska Wings and Things, which is like they focus on used gold wings.
Clark's, Nebraska.
Yeah, Clark's, Nebraska.
Holy cow.
And so I called them. I'm like, listen, like I got my dad's old gold wing. I don't know, like I can't figure it out. I cleaned the carbs, it's still not running. And they're like, yeah, we don't work on that anymore either. But there's this dude in Octavia, Nebraska, who's really good with old carbureted stuff.
By Columbus, kind of.
Yeah, kind of up there, north of David City. So he's like, we sent it to them. It's called like Mototech or something like that. So I called him and he's like, yeah, bring it up. So I brought it up and I was like, I'm going to this small little town of like 90 people. But not showed up. He's got like, I opened his garage. He's got a bunch of like old gold wings in there that are his. I'm like, yeah, this is the spot.
This is the guy.
This is the guy. So it should be done sometime fairly soon. So I'm really excited because I've actually just realized I've had it almost a year now and have not got it running. So, and part of it, like in the summer, I just ride the FJR because it's my bike and it runs. But I'm looking forward to getting. Well, I mean, technically the Goldwing's my bike now too, but it'll be cool to get it running and go out and cruise on that as well. Liz will ride in the back of that. She doesn't like the back of the FJR. One, she doesn't like doing wheelies, and two, it's not comfortable. So,
Is the FJR a crotch rocket?
it's a sport touring bike.
Okay.
So, yeah. Now, was foot. So when I went to Arkansas, a few months ago, we were coming out. We were going north. We went through. I can't remember any towns, but we were coming home, and we were pulling onto this 2-lane highway. And B-Rad and OJ, my DJ buddies, they took off on their Harleys, and then a car went by. So I was waiting, and then there was this dude pulled up on a little Gixxer 600, and we pulled out, and he's like, "What?" Starts racking on it, like gonna cut in between our group. I'm like, no. So I cranked on it, and now if he would have known how to ride, he could have got past me, but he didn't know how to ride. But yeah, like even though it's a big old man bike, it'll get it.
Really?
It's 135 horsepower.
Man.
Cute.
It's 800 pounds. Or no, it's like 650. But with
So you're saying pound for pound, it's got way more horsepower than like
any car,
yeah.
Wow.
An Enzo.
any car under, any car under
Koenigsegg.
300,000. Yeah, that's what. Dude, but honestly, like, you can go out and buy $1,000 motorcycle that has a better
That's true.
horsepower to weight ratio than in most cars.
No, I was kidding when I said that's cute.
No.
I was being facetious.
No, okay,
I wasn't being real.
it is cute though.
Is that it back there?
No, that's my old Bandit 1250. I don't think I have a picture of the FJR in here. I got almost every other bike I've owned, but not that one.
Okay.
So, but no, that's Talladega National Forest. That was the old Bandit 1250. So, anyways, moving on. We do have a bottle here tonight, guys. We have a bottle of, I don't know if it's F.E.W or F.E.W.
I mean, they both say the same thing.
Yeah, but it's a straight bourbon whiskey, single barrel selection. It's 101 proof. This is Paul Hiletko is the master distillery. This is a single barrel select from barrel number 17-1999.
Nice.
It says a singular expression of our bourbon. The fine liquid within this bottle has been matured in new American oak barrels to produce a single barrel bourbon that shall never be duplicated. Selected by a unique individual for the singular individual who sips it now. Straight bourbon whiskey. Fewspirits.com.
You said 1999?
That's what the barrel number is, I guess. I'm assuming that's the year. I don't know.
Wow.
And mashed, fermented, and distilled and bottled by Few Spirits, Evanston, Illinois, aged at least 2 years in charred new American oak barrels. So yeah, that's it. Our sponsor for this bottle, this comes again from our unknown benefactor that sent us a package of bottles from the bottle house.
Bottles.
A litany of bottles, yeah. So thank you,
Thank you.
unknown benefactor. We look forward to giving this.
Please make yourself known just so we can say thank you to an actual person.
Speaking of which, we have multiple ways to make yourself known to us. You can follow us on the Twitters at manhoodneat. You can follow us on the Instagrams at manhoodneat. You can email us manhood.neat@gmail.com. Again, that's manhood.neat@gmail.com. Or at info@manhoodneat.com. info@manhoodneat.com. You can like and review on the old Apple or any other podcast platform. And honestly, guys, the biggest way to help us out is just to spread this word of mouth. Though we talked about this last time, guys, I do want to read one of our reviews that I thought we go without. So this review is from username Miss K01. I thought, wait, we've got a woman listening to our Manhood Neat podcast. What does she have to say? She gave us 5 stars, which is the appropriate amount of stars.
Awesome.
She said,
Anything less is
I don't think I belong here. Listening to this podcast felt like I had my ear up to the door of a hunting club locker room. I could smell the bourbon and the Axe body spray through my screen. The commercials were lit, though. Ordering one of everything. 10 out of 10. So, thank you, Miss K.
Thank you, Miss K.
01.
Well put.
Well put. All right. So, we're going to open this bottle, make a little pour, and see what we think. All right.
F.E.W.
F.E.W. Straight bourbon whiskey. Nate, what do you smell in that?
Let's see. It smells maybe a little bit filtered. I don't know. Not a super strong smell.
It's a little muted.
It's got a sweet note to it, but I'm not smelling the alcohol. I'm not smelling that corn forwardness.
It is pretty mild.
It's interesting.
I think it's, I mean, it says it's only aged at least 2 years. I'm assuming, usually when they put that, it's not much more than that. So it's probably between 2 and 3. So I think that we're smelling that youngness to it. It is sweet. I'm getting some of that burnt brown sugar smell again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting some cherries. And some other stuff I don't know. I can't.
Almost rose, like floral.
A little sweet.
Like
Yeah.
like
Floral
a rose.
Pick that up.
Yeah, it's fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say grainy. I mean, like I can almost just smell the grains in it.
Yeah, I don't smell that like corn forwardness, like hard alcohol, like burn your nostril smell. But I don't know. This is an interesting. It doesn't smell like anything else we've smelled.
No, and I like the way it smells.
Yeah.
Like it's not so strong. Like honestly, it's gonna sound dumb, but it's a bourbon that I could almost have a candle of in my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, go on the palate.
Wow.
There's a lot of corn there.
It's like I'm chewing on a corn stalk,
It's corn forward.
Yeah.
but you don't smell it. That's the weird thing.
No,
On that first sip, I get it in my nose. On the finish.
I get corn. I get some spice.
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find the mash bill in this.
This is probably the most interesting bourbon we've drank because it doesn't taste anything remotely like any of the others.
It is very muted almost. I mean,
It is. It's like it wants to burst with flavor, but it's like, I'm just going to hold back a little bit. I'm just going to tease y'all. Almost like a seltzer, where it's like you want to taste the flavor, but it's not there.
Yeah. So like, I can taste a little bit of that vanilla and that caramel, but whereas in like a better bourbon, for lack of
like a more
Stronger.
complex
Stronger.
bourbon.
I'll say better. In a better bourbon, like I can taste a lot of caramel, a lot of vanilla, a lot of burnt sugar, whatever, and then I can taste in the background. I taste the rye, I taste the corn. In this, it's the opposite. I taste that corn, I taste that other grain, that spice, and in the background is a hint of caramel and a hint of vanilla.
This one's going to be hard.
You're not talking like Mustang GT with leather seats or something, are you?
I don't know, dude, because on the finish, honestly, like
It's not a lingerer.
No, and it the instant the first part of the taste I actually enjoy. It just kind of gets worse to me as it goes along.
Yeah.
It tastes so floral to me after you get more than one sip in. Like I said, it's like it feels like I'm almost like chewing on a rose petal. Like that's the kind of flavor I get out of it.
Yeah, but so like I used to drink a lot of rose water when I was overseas.
Mm-hmm.
This is worse.
What's rose water?
Literally just water.
It's water with rose infusion in it.
Infusion, yeah. I also smoked a lot of rose hashish in the.
You smoked a lot of hashish?
but
Where were you at again?
Kuwait. All right, yeah.
There's a lot of it over there.
Yep. Hashish is just tobacco with molasses.
It's like a hookah almost.
Well, hookah's the device. Hashish is what you smoke.
Hashish is what you put. Yeah.
Got it.
So yeah, the finish is short, and it's downhill. Like the flavor starts kind of I'd say medium high and just drops.
To me, it goes from mild to eh.
It's kind of like you're just swallowing it and that's it.
But it's an interesting flavor.
Yeah,
Flavor wise, I don't mind it.
I don't either.
I wish it lasted longer.
Yeah, I found myself I'm drinking this faster than other bourbons.
Because you want the flavor to stay in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's a good flavor. It's quick.
And it's not harsh. I mean, for being 101 proof, it's not harsh.
No, not at all.
It's super mild for that.
All right, Nate, we got to have a score, man.
I would say 32.
32.
Wow. Okay, so a Odyssey.
Yeah.
It's a your first car, pretty much. Sorry about
you
that.
just get a flavor of driving fast, but you just wish you could go a little faster.
It's like a Honda Odyssey with plastic dipped wheels.
Yeah, on the last episode, I rated my first car, not the bourbon.
Oh,
All right, Dylan.
Hey, that's pretty good.
I'm going to give it quite a bit higher than that, personally. Because the flavor is interesting, but it's lacking. I'm going to give this like a Ford Maverick, not the truck. So slightly below a Ford Mustang GT. I'm going to give it like a 44.
44.
ooh, that's low though.
It is low. It's
Well,
not.
It's below average, but it's not terrible.
It's only because the flavor dies so fast. It's disappointing. I love the flavor. It's just it dies so fast.
This might be a Mustang GT without fifth gear for me. It's like this is a 47 for me.
47. Yeah, so I'm going. So I had a card that I really enjoyed, but it was only fun in short sprints, and that was a Fiero.
Oh.
Yeah,
I just recently saw a picture of that.
yes, you
the
did.
number one kit
Oh,
car of
man.
America.
Yep. So I had a Fiero, and so
It's okay, man.
No,
All right.
They're great.
I would have it again, and honestly, like this, I would drink this again,
Yeah.
but it's a little below average.
You like Death on Wheels.
Dev
Death on
yeah.
Wheels.
Yeah, our motorcycles.
The Fiero is just an explosive car.
Is that yeah? So I'm gonna give this a 43.
Wow, we are actually similar in scores today.
Yeah,
That is weird.
yeah. Maybe we should stop drinking.
I think I need Need to leave the podcast.
Podcast.
We've reached our thesis.
I grew out of the childhood stage.
Actually, no, Dylan. Maybe you're gaining a little of what I want to talk about today.
Ooh, nice segue.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I'm the king of subways.
King of Subways.
Yes,
Eat fresh. $5 foot long.
$5 foot long. But I'm not Jared.
Thank
Thank
God.
God.
Yeah, but no, I want to talk about wisdom. And so, like, what? First of all, what is wisdom? And like the Bible talks a lot about it, but what is it, Nate? What is wisdom?
My gut answer response is self-control, not going with the easy option. Maybe patience, holding out to see the whole picture.
Okay,
Ooh.
Ben, what do you think?
Good take, man. Yeah, I think wisdom's something that we're probably not born with. I think it takes some time to gather. Probably a few bad decisions will give you some wisdom. I've been there, and I think it takes time. I think ultimately wisdom probably comes from our Father in heaven, probably as well. I mean, that's the wisdom we're probably headed towards, right?
Yes, that's the big one.
Okay.
But what's the definition, Dylan? I'm looking for a definition of wisdom.
So I was trying to come up with one, and the only thing I could think of is knowledge acquired by like failed experiences or stories of failed experiences from other people sharing their wisdom onto you, because a failed experience is just a lesson learned, really.
Well, but so is a non-failed.
It is true. I think more wisdom comes out of failed experiences.
So
I mean, Thomas Edison told you that there's 990 something ways to not make a light bulb versus the one way to make one.
Right. He didn't tell me that. I never met him. But but
He told Ben.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's true.
I was around.
Were you
There.
at
told
5
Lewis.
at the time? Yeah. My favorite definition of wisdom is the art. There you go, Nate. Little plug for you. Is the art of living skillfully.
Ooh.
So what does that mean? What does that mean?
So
When I
we,
say-
so we benefit from our wisdom,
yeah.
you're saying?
So are wisdom and intellect tied together?
They can be.
Can be, but not necessarily, right?
You don't need to have intellect to have wisdom.
Do you need to have wisdom to have intellect?
Yes.
There's a lot of people with intellect that
No,
don't know.
no, I would disagree. You don't need to be book smart. Sorry, Ben.
No,
I'm just
I would
interrupting
agree with
everybody
you,
all
man.
the time.
I was probably about to curse on the podcast.
Nate, where you at, bud?
I would say there's a lot of people that know a lot of stuff that don't know shit really. So
They know a lot of stuff, but don't know anything.
That's
Okay.
true.
I know just enough to know that I don't know anything.
I saw that on a meme, so I wasn't really my words.
I think wisdom's about vulnerability, like not having the need to be right in every situation and being able to step back and just watch. Maybe.
Okay.
What do they say? The
Those are
fool is
wise
the one that
words for
talks
a
the
young
most
man.
in a group, and the wise man's the one that sits back and listens.
They do say that, yeah.
I'm the fool in the group.
Nah,
You're the wise man sitting back and listening.
no.
Or is it about like you can if you keep your mouth quiet, people won't know that you don't know anything?
Yeah. There's a bunch of proverbs about that. So, who is the wisest man to ever live?
Jesus.
Okay,
Well, yeah.
outside of Jesus.
John the Baptist.
Methuselah, because he was so old.
He's in the Bible. He wrote Ecclesiastes and Proverbs.
David?
His
No.
son.
I don't know.
I don't know why I just ask questions when I know the answer, but the answer
Trying to make
is
us look
Rhetorical,
bad.
that's why. You're trying to Sunday school quiz us
yeah. It's
just to
'cause-
show that we're not good Christian folk.
well, no, it's because speaking of Sunday school, I gotta throw this in. It's my favorite. The favorite thing I was told my entire life was, "I really enjoy your Sunday school. Like it's really good. Like I'm learning stuff, and you're just a farmer."
Shout out to.
Anybody who said that,
I was there in that room when that was said.
Was that an initials KB?
close, yeah. But no, I thought that
Shout
was
out!
awesome.
Shout out to that lady.
That lady. Yep. But anyway, sidetrack. So Solomon was like the wisest man, and
Oh.
Oh yeah.
and because God said, ask me for something and I'll give it to you, right? And what did he ask for? Wisdom.
Infinite wisdom.
I don't know, infinite, but great wisdom. Yeah. And so he asked for wisdom, and then God's like, okay, I'll give you a bunch of money too, right? And so he still becomes the wisest man.
Rich dude.
So I always this idea that wisdom is only gained via life, we see that's not true because Solomon's granted the greatest wisdom from an early age, right? So what is wisdom then? Because I always used to think like, oh, it's like wise men are obviously old because they've made the mistakes and now they can tell us not to make them. But the Bible even talks about old, like in Proverbs, it even says that older men are wise and we should listen to them. But what is wisdom? So what is this wisdom? It's not just experience mixed with intellect. Like it's got to be more than that. So what? Well, we use the word a lot, like he's a wise man, or we should look for wisdom. But what is it like? What does that mean? Like when someone says something and you think to yourself, "That's a wise person."
Someone who can open your eyes and make you see a different point of view that might benefit you rather than hinder you.
Nice.
Give an example. This is the time that something that someone told you, and you're like, "Yeah, that's pretty wise."
No, I don't know a lot of wise men, so
It's true. You sit around with us.
exactly. That was supposed to be my stab at y'all today.
Bunch of fallen dudes.
I'm trying to. I have had some good nuggets before, but I have to think about it.
A couple of weeks ago, you talked about it. You talked about like some lean times during the pandemic, and you took your business a new direction. Was that a wise guy?
Well, I mean, God is the wisest of guys,
pretty wise, yeah.
and He kind of guided me in that way.
There
Well,
you
he's
go.
not like a wise guy.
No, he's not. He's not a made man.
Yeah, he's not a made man.
He's a cool feller, you know. He's got some pretty good knowledge. There's a book there that he's made through people.
It's a bestseller.
Every year. Every year. So, and actually, I think it was the original bestseller. I think it was the first ever book that was bought in mass. Yeah.
Is it considered a library since it's a collection of books?
It's a book. We'll keep on it's a long discussion. Now we're going into. All right.
Going off track.
Yeah, we're going off track. So.
Tangent alert.
Yep. All right. Nate. Who's the wisest person you know?
Oof.
This is an easy question.
Do I have to? Yeah. I mean, my dad has warned me against things that I did anyways, and they ended up burning me. So yeah, I would say my dad.
All right.
Maybe you're the wisest person. You know.
I'm not.
You got to learn.
Aw.
All right. So we got a little Bible verse here. This is Colossians 4, 5 and 6. It says, walk in wisdom toward outsiders, making the best use of the time. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. So last week we talked about the fact that our culture has gone to crap, right? So I want to bring wisdom into that. So we got to approach the situation. We have to approach the culture with wisdom. Mm-hmm. And this verse here specifically says that wisdom is that we know how to talk to outsiders, right? So outsiders being non-church people, non-believers, non-brothers and sisters in Christ, making the best use of the time. So the time that we have, right? Like the time that we have now. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person.
Maybe that just goes back to really going to the source for truth, which is God, obviously. And we ought to be thankful to Him every day, praising Him for the good things in our life, because everything on earth that is good came from Him. So maybe the ultimate wisdom is knowing that and giving Him credit for those good things and trying to share that with others who may or may not know that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sunday school answer? Or?
No, I think you're right on. And because I think that, I think there is two ways to gain worldly wisdom, right? And then also eternal wisdom. So eternal wisdom comes only from God, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's like, and God says if we pray for wisdom, He'll give it to us. Like that's promised. If we ask for it, He'll grant it.
Would that be like an epiphany?
I mean, I guess you could use that word. The way I think about it is just like is kind of like we alluded to a few weeks ago when we had a discussion on how do you hear God? You know, like what does that mean? And I said like there's just times that I know stuff I shouldn't know. Does that make sense?
Where you connect dots that you would have never connected before.
And I think that's like godly wisdom. Like there's times I'll be evaluating a situation and I'm like, okay, well this obviously he would lead this here, will lead here, and this will lead here. And I shouldn't know how that would lead because I haven't actually done it yet. I've never been in that situation. And so to me, that's godly wisdom. Like, okay, and he's like, no, Aaron, like obviously this is going to go here. This is going to go here. I'm God. I know where it's going to go. Just listen to me. This is wisdom I'm giving you. Now you have it. Don't be an idiot. Don't screw it up. Right. And so like, I think like that's what wisdom is, like this. And you can gain wisdom just by walking those roads. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I've learned by doing stuff the wrong way. But there's also I think God does continually just give wisdom because I'll be like, I think that's the wrong way for these reasons. And I don't want to have to learn by doing it wrong. So I'm going to go over here. And
So then wouldn't you be defining wisdom as just lessons learned?
But it's not always lessons learned because sometimes it's just God giving you the lesson without you learning it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, well, I guess you're still learning it because he told you, but I know what you're saying. But you haven't had to walk through it to learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is wisdom something that we emphasize?
I think when we talk about the Bible and its parallels to modern day culture, we do. Because to me, the Bible, you know, it is a revelation of God speaking to you. But if you also look at it, we always talk about how history rhymes. It's a giant book of lessons learned to try to reach that more Christ-like transcendence, essentially. To me, that's kind of what I get out of it. And maybe that's just because I'm a simple man and that's a simple way for me to think of it and rationalize it. But it's a big book of, this is what went wrong in history. This is what we're seeing now. So maybe we should fix what we didn't fix back then so we don't have that same problem happening now.
You're way ahead of most if you're thinking that way, because most of us got to go down our own road and get the hell beat out of us and learn on our own.
I got the hell beat out of me for a long time. That's why I look as ugly as I do.
Yeah. I think wisdom is
Aaron agrees with you that you're ugly.
Yeah, it's true.
Thank you. If you called me cute, I'd question you.
Yeah. Yeah. The view's not that good.
I wouldn't blame Nate. I mean, he's young. So.
No. Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. So anyways, but I do think that the worldly definition of wisdom and the true definition of wisdom are two different things. And I also I almost think like culture's fighting against wisdom, even their own definition, because it's like things that just seem like, no, like obviously this is a bad path.
Yeah.
And this is unwise. No, that's where we're going.
You mean like trying to fight about what a woman is?
Or a lot of other things, but it's just like, or electing a man that has, quote unquote, electing a man that has dementia, right, as president. Like it's just no. I mean, there's all these things, or not evaluating what's in front of you for what it is, but denying what's going on, and that could be a lot of different things. I mean, there's people who denying what's going on in their own household. People deny what's going on in their bank account. What people deny what's going on with all these other things, you know.
Sure.
And that's not wise. And it's so what like wisdom is grounded in humility, right? How many Bible verses put the two together? So humility and wisdom are always stuck together. Because what does humility do? It removes you from the equation. It removes you from being the centerpiece of what's going on. And so it puts wisdom back to God. So if wisdom is a reliance on God and an understanding of his ways and working through that, and so pride would be the counter to humility. So I don't know what I'm not a very vocabulary rich person. What is the opposite of wisdom foolery.
Arrogance, something like that.
My mom always said tomfoolery, but I don't think that's right. Aaron, stop doing that tomfoolery. That's how she sounds too.
Is that how she sounds?
No, not at all. She listens to the podcast too, so I'm probably gonna get in trouble when I go home.
You are in trouble for sure.
Yeah,
Well, fact is fact, right? Emotions should be gone
yeah.
when you're making decisions.
You should never have
Generally.
emotions, period. But
I mean, I get that for you, but not for me. I mean,
I'm a robot. I'm the Borg. Yep. Resistance is futile. Nobody else gets it.
No. Star Trek.
It's Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? How do you actively seek wisdom, Nate? What do you actively seek it?
I like to think I do, but I make a lot of bad decisions, and I think it's like it's a gut feeling. Like if you're doing something and it doesn't feel right, and you just keep going forward with it, well, that's not being wise. Let's see. I don't think wisdom is always like easily attainable. I think you have to call for on God to help make wise decisions. You definitely do. And yeah, like taking emotions out of it. Facts don't care about your feelings. To make a decision that benefits your life and those in your life, you know, if your feelings are attached to that, well, it's gonna be a different outcome.
good point, Nate. I think that the truth is the truth. You know, if you rely on just about any man, even your dad can lead you astray. I mean, I think you've got to you got to go to the truth. You know, I've been known to make a few mistakes. You know that well, and so going to the big man upstairs is your best bet. You know, and luckily you have a direct line to him, and he's gonna guide you.
Yeah, I don't think relying on man is wise at all.
No, we're all bound to mess up. I'm gonna let you down. You're gonna let me down. Aaron's gonna let me down. I'm gonna let Aaron down. You know, Dylan's always gonna be. He's always gonna be reliable, pretty much.
I never let anybody down.
But you know,
Yeah, you can have smart help, like, you know, the right guy behind you, but that's different. Being smart is not being wise. There were a lot of smart people in Kansas City, but dumber than shit.
yes,
Yeah.
SHIT word. 2 weeks in a row, dude. Good job.
No, last week it was worse than that.
Yeah,
Like father, like son.
Like father, like son. Yeah. No, no, it's true, and like I think that we as a society have really pushed intellect over wisdom.
oh, that's on display every single
Oh yeah,
day.
yeah. I mean, I'm just a farmer, but that's what I think.
But then there's a fancy
Man, I
term.
hope that lady listens, dude.
Intellectual fallacy comes up because these people tend to think they're so smart that the opposite of the truth is not the truth.
Wow.
Did you guys watch that new documentary just came out? What is a Woman?
I
watched
I
it.
want to
No.
watch it really bad. It's been blowing up all of my advertisements on everything.
I've
Yeah.
not.
If you want to see the difference between intellect and wisdom, that's where to go.
I believe
Really?
that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, man. Like culture's just. I know we probably just kind of sound like we're on repeat it every week, but it is true though. Like it's just like I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and more engaged with culture, or if it's just this much worse. But I just feel like there's no reprieve from it anywhere. You know what I mean? Like I can't. There's like you can't like I mean. Like local schools have it, and I mean it's honestly like our we have to confront it in our church. Like we go there. We gotta confront it. We do, and I'm not hating on the people who are struggling with this and stuff. I'm not. I'm really not. But I'm just
sympathizing for them.
I'm sympathizing. Yeah. What I'm saying though is like we're just in this spot where like where I used to find places of rest. I still got to be on mission. And maybe that's a little bit of God teaching me wisdom, saying, no, Aaron, you always have to be on mission anyways. Because, I mean, it's true. Like there is no, like, when you go to battle, there's no R&R in theater. There's no true R&R. Like you might pull you off the front lines, but you're not truly getting R&R. Like you've got to still be battle ready because anything could happen. It's not until you go home that you can have a true R&R. Well, we're not home here. Like this is not home. We're sojourners in a foreign land. Home is the other side of eternity. So maybe God's like, yeah, suck it up, soldier boy. Like you don't get no R&R there. Like you get moments of reprieve, but it's gonna be it's on mission all the time. But that's what I feel like I'm at. Like I'm not sure that's true. I'm not, but I'm saying that's where my current struggle is that there's like I just feel like we are so inundated with attacks in spiritual battle. There is no place you can go. And so yes, I mean I guess the Sunday school answer is we rest in Jesus. I understand that, but as far as not being on mission, maybe there's not that this side of eternity, but the rest comes in Christ at the end.
Yeah. Where do you go? I know you just kind of answered that, but where do you go? You don't go to me, that's for sure. You don't go to, you don't go to, maybe not even your pastor. You go to the Bible. Where do you go?
For what? For rest?
For rest, man. Not for wisdom.
Well, I go to the Bible for wisdom and to God. Mm-hmm. I guess when I die, I'll rest.
What's the R&R? Where does that come, man? I mean,
death.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
That's a pretty good reward, though.
Yeah.
Because we know where we're going.
Yeah. But I mean, like, because where would you go? Because when you're at home, you as a father, you got to be in charge of making sure that your home is in order and that your children are protected spiritually, physically, mentally. That you're providing in all those areas. When you go to church, you got to be sure that the doctrine being preached is pure.
Right.
And also that the people there are protected physically, spiritually, whatever. And then when you're out in the culture, you're on mission to further the gospel. So where is the rest? Maybe the rest is the other side. Maybe that's why Paul says that if it was not for eternity, we are to be pitied. Because this life is being on a mission is hard, but it is rewarding.
Right.
Maybe that's the wisdom. I don't know.
Did we talk about this a few weeks ago, Dylan, on the Sabbath? Is that rest?
We have talked, but that was maybe arguably months ago now.
Man.
I think sleep is rest. I don't know if there's supposed to be rest here on earth. And people who are looking for rest are distracted people.
Yeah.
And so
Are you trying to say there ain't no rest for the wicked?
I guess that's a good song.
Money doesn't grow on trees.
Is that
You got bills to pay and mouths to feed.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing in this world for free.
is that a Kid Rock reference there? Or
No.
No.
What is that band?
Oh, goodness. I don't know. It's Borderlands, though. That's the theme song for that. Off topic, but
I'm looking it up.
Do you think
they're one hit wonder.
Cage the elephant.
Cage the elephant. That's right. It was right on the tip of my tongue.
Tip of my tongue. So what do you think, Ben?
I was just sitting here thinking about a question like, where do you think the world goes for us? Like, the people who don't think like we do.
I think they stare endlessly at a television screen and their brains shut off.
I mean,
Well-
I'm guilty of that too sometimes. I mean,
But do you think that if you don't care, are you always at rest?
we were laughing about this the other day. I'm kind of just on a slow burn all the time. Like, I could turn green any moment and just burn this sucker down.
Turn green.
The Hulk.
Oh, the Hulk. Okay.
You know the Avengers reference. I mean,
I've never
come
seen
on,
it.
you've seen those movies.
No,
You
I don't.
wouldn't like
I don't
it.
watch movies.
You only watch Star Wars and
You wouldn't like. No, it's don't make me hungry. You don't like me when I'm hungry. From the newest. That's the Edward Norton one. But anyways,
gotcha.
Oh.
yeah. But what do you think, Nate? I mean, do you think it's
To answer your question, I think, yeah. I think people, you can distract yourself. There's plenty of things to just coast through life and not ever face reality. And then you're just living a restful life. Oh, yeah. Done it. To care is hard. And that's like what being a man takes, is to rise up to the challenge and care. So yeah, I think that would be my answer.
I think what you just said, the whole like, for the people that don't care and they're like, oh yeah, I've done it, I've crushed it, we're good to go. I think that's the most scary thing of all time, because you live this life of delusion, and then when life ends, that's when you see the real world beginning, and you've spent your whole time not putting any of that care into it, not putting any care into spreading the word or anything like that, because it didn't ever matter to you. And now you're going to spend eternity in a place where you can never get out of.
Yeah.
I think they have a very rude awakening coming at the end of this mortal coil.
And I guess, when we talk about rest, we're sidetracking from wisdom, that's totally fine. But like, when you were a kid, right? So, last year, Nate, do you remember like having like, when you had sleepovers with your buddies, right? You have a couple guys over, you set your tent up in the backyard or whatever, you have your fort going, and you're like, we're going to hang out all night. Dylan, you did that yesterday. I saw you.
Yeah, but with the boys, it was Mountain Dew and Halo 3.
This is way later.
Live wire.
I'm talking about, you're older than him. So for last year, he was like 5. You were 18.
You're talking like s'mores and
Yeah, but like you could go all night and you were just like, I've got this, right? Because you're having a good time. You understood like why you're staying up, and you knew that eventually like burnout's coming, but who cares, right?
Yeah.
Right. So do you think that as Christians, and so I guess the wisdom of this is that, yeah, we realize there's no rest here, but it's worth the effort because of what it means for eternity. And that's why it's a light burden. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, like when you're struggling for something you want to do, it's less of a struggle, right?
yeah.
So is that maybe, I guess, where I'm off when I'm complaining about not resting is because I'm not looking at it right as far as perspective on what it is I'm trying to do?
Well, I think that's just all a matter of perspective based on what you're saying, because I would argue to say that what you just said was 100% true. If you're struggling to do something, to accomplish something you want to accomplish, that struggle is far less burdensome. So like when it comes to like my flip houses, I have an end goal with the financial gain I'm going to get out of them, plus I get the gratification of watching them come together. So even though it is long hours, it is strenuous, I actually enjoy going to work. I actually enjoy putting in that labor, because there is a goal at the end of that I am going to see come to fruition. I think...
To buy beef.
Yes. Fact. Lots of it. 2/3 of a beef. But I think with the people that are constantly at rest, which I think has to do with the psychosis of our modern day culture, kind of what we've alluded to at the beginning of this whole podcast, with like the decadence and the people constantly at rest, everything being constantly instant, and there's no struggle. If we don't have a struggle in life, we can't find the joy that comes out of life. And to me, I think that's why God put us here, was to have us struggle, to have us be humbled, to have us be grateful for the gifts that we're about to receive from him. I really do. I think that's why we're on this mortal coil. I mean, sure, that may not be all of it, but I think that's a big portion of it.
And to turn to him for pretty much everything. Because even getting through a day is difficult without him.
Yeah. I guess we got a couple minutes here left. I want to bring it around. And while we have the young gun,
Yep.
do you think the plight of young people, because we're old, right? I'm not quite as
Especially your
old as this
dad.
guy, but I'm getting there. But do you think the plight of young people is a lack of intelligence or wisdom, or a lack of purpose?
I would say purpose. Yeah. People just need to find where to plug themselves in and also like where to be happy and not lead a fake life. But then with purpose, like, where God plugs you in, you're gonna learn, you're gonna take on wisdom. I think if you're in the right place, you're gonna receive wisdom. That's how it's worked out for my life path so far. But yeah, it's just, I think a lot of people just give up and can turn themselves off. They're sleeping, and it's easy to sleep. But there's not going to be a reward if you just go through life sleeping. That would be my answer. It should suck. Your life should suck. If it doesn't suck, you're a loser.
So embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck.
Oh man,
I don't know.
You're talking to these two guys now.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more with what he said, because when it comes to intelligence, we have all of the world's knowledge in the palm of our hands.
Yeah.
We have it on a 6.5-inch screen.
It's just the world's dumb. Yeah.
Well, sure, fair, but I'm saying I don't think they lack from information. I think he's 100%. People lack for purpose.
Yeah. Yep. And that's, yeah. You know, and when it comes to like wisdom and I suppose intelligence, wisdom has so much humility, like we talked about, has such a huge humility aspect of it that because humility is removing ourselves from the equation for the most part, right? And so we can look at stuff look at it with wisdom, look at things wisely, and be like, oh, yeah, you know, 1 + 1 is 2. That makes sense. This is why. Whereas if you don't have that, so you have the opposite, which is foolery, right? We said, and pride. Well, now pride is all about me, and that's why we see we have a lot of people who are foolish, prideful, and quote unquote intelligent, right? And so now it's, well, no. You have to agree with what I'm saying, because my truth, my ego is what has to be stoked by this. And I do think that wisdom is a little bit of wisdom is a common grace that God gives every human being. And that's why people in our culture have to be patted on the back, re-emphasized, because they know in their heart, because God's given that common grace of wisdom, that these things are wrong and stupid, right? Like, if you're a dude, even if you've cut your dick off, like, you're still a dude, and so you can't become a woman. You can't. And God's put that into every single person. But that's why it's so important that they need you and you and you to say, no, it's okay. What you're doing is right. It's good. Because the common grace of wisdom has to be subverted, right? It's got to be turned over. And so we see God doing all these things, and then we see Satan doing the same thing. Is he's taken a common grace that's a beautiful thing, wisdom, and subverting it to evil, right? He's got to fight against all these things. And so the culture is anti-wisdom. We've got to stand up against that, and it's going to suck.
Right.
Like, it's going to suck more and more as the world gets farther away from that.
Yeah, you're gonna be a pariah amongst people.
Yeah.
But the end goal, I mean, the end game, not the end goal, but the end game.
What really matters doesn't matter. if you
Yeah,
are
like
or
this
not.
is nothing.
Is eternity.
It's eternity. This is just a fart in the wind, right?
Right.
You like that phrase a lot.
It's my favorite.
Flash in the pan.
Yeah.
Flash in the pan.
Or,
No,
or Bob Lewis
that's
says,
violent.
Fart in the pan.
Fart in, yeah, that's right.
Just a fart in the pan.
Fart in the pan.
And that's gone real quick.
So,
Yeah, it's always hard to meet someone who's like working so hard to find wisdom from the earth. That's really tough.
Yeah.
You just look them in the eyes and they just look tired. And because that is just a real quick way to death, I feel like.
What are you trying to say, Nate?
No, not you guys. But I don't know. It's just like you have to. Wisdom only comes from God. And if you're trying to find that in a book, you know, it's going to be ugly. And you're going to be a crap teacher. And you're going to be a crap friend, crap partner, whatever. You got to call on God.
And that's a struggle too, right? Because a lot of people don't want to hear that.
Well, too bad.
I think those were wise words that came out of you, Nate.
yeah.
Nice
They're
work.
not mine.
They're good. They're good to end on.
Yep, we're going to end on that because I got a plan at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
It's gonna be raining.
Dang.
It's not going to rain.
It's gonna rain.
No, it's going to rain at like 7:05 after I've been out there for an hour. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to get up early, go out there, and it's going to rain after I'm out there. And I'm like, thank you, Dylan, for speaking this into existence.
Prognosticator of prognosticators.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It means you get to spend a day off and we get to play Golden Tee.
No, it doesn't. I have to go shine bolts.
No. You stand up and you say, I have the wisdom to not waste my time doing this.
And the 9mm.
Ooh,
I'm going to prison. All right, guys. Let's close this up.
that stepped up a notch.
Yeah. All right. Lewis, you want to close this in prayer?
Which one?
Both of y'all at the same time in unison.
All right, I'll do it.
Okay.
Dear God, we just thank you for wisdom. We thank you for your sovereignty, knowing the answer to every question, and we praise you for that, just as we should. And we just ask that you would continue to subvert a little bit of that to us each day as we put trust in you. And we just hope that everyone listening would do the same and give their life to you and see the truth as it is, which is simple and perfect and for their benefit. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Manhood and Eat podcast.